What can you do to protect your business? So as a business owner, these are some of the things that I would recommend and some of the things that I do as well. I'm by no means perfect, but these things have helped. So the first one is monitoring your cash flow. So as a business owner, you should always know where your business is up to and its, say, profitability. I carefully monitor the bank balance, and I also carry out a cash flow forecast projection. So essentially it's quite simple, and I even do it on Excel, and it's the incoming amount that we're expecting, less direct costs, and then your general costs, and then I can see month by month where my business is going to be. Now sometimes it might not be the news that I wanted, sometimes it can be a little bit worrying, but at least I have the information and then I can monitor and control the business accordingly. So I would say the first recommendation is monitor that cash flow, monitor your bank account and carry out projections. If you're no good at Excel or numbers, hire someone to do it, whether it's an accountant or a bookkeeper, but it's absolutely vital, and it does give you that peace of mind because you've got the knowledge and you can tailor your company to the situations that are about to unfold, and it's best to do that rather than to be unaware as to what's going to happen to the company. The second point I would say is don't use HMRC's money as your own money to spend in the business. So we all have to pay HMRC, unfortunately, VAT, pay as you earn CT, whatever it is, it's owed to HMRC. And it can be tempting to just spend that money and worry about paying it later down the line. I wouldn't recommend doing that because you can fall short, and if cash flow is a little bit tight, I would recommend putting it in a separate bank account to the trading bank account so that it's safeguarded. So when it becomes due, you can pay it over. If it's a substantial amount and you're going to be keeping it in there for a while, obviously you can look at high interest accounts, etc. But just safeguard it, because so many companies have come to us when HMRC are obviously pursuing their outstanding balance and they've just spent the money. They knew it was going to be coming, they knew they were going to have to pay it across to HMRC, but they spent it, and then HMRC does take action. We know they can wind you up, they can send in the bailiffs, etc. So it's best to just safeguard that money because it's not yours to spend. The next point I would make is make sure that you keep a clear distinction between personal money and business money. So it might be that if cash flow is a little bit tight, you're putting your own money in, keep a record of it. But it might be that you're also taking money out as well. So I understand, directors have mortgages, rent to pay, families to look after, etc. So you do need to be taking money out of a company, and after all, that's what a limited company is there for, to make money for the shareholders ultimately. So you are taking money out, but just monitor what you're taking out, because if you're taking it out as an overdrawn director's loan account, it's exactly what it says. It's a loan. You owe that money back. It's not for you to keep personally. It's just a loan, and you don't want to be in a situation where you're facing challenging times with your business and also have to repay your loan account. So just make sure that you are keeping a track of what's personal money and what's business money, and try and avoid taking money out of the company if it is a little bit tight. And you can't take it out as, say, wages or dividends, because then it's a loan and you owe it back, and that can just cause problems down the line. The next point would be to make sure that you just keep really good financial records. So if you hold a directors meeting, and that might be with fellow directors or it might be you on your own, make sure you monitor, make sure you maintain the records of that meeting, make sure you keep a close eye on everything, because if the worst were to happen and it enters into liquidation or administration, etc., the office holder, which would be the liquidator or administrator, will request those records, and it's best that you have them. So just make sure you do that. And then the other point, and it came up with a case recently, is make sure that you're chasing debtors, so people that owe money to the company. So this is my final point, and I dealt with a case where they were in difficulty in paying HMRC, but they had lots of book debts, i.e. people that owed them money, and they hadn't been chasing them. They'd been too busy running a company, which I completely get, but then they fell into arrears with HMRC, but they had all this money that they hadn't chased. And it can put you into a cash flow insolvency, and that's when you can't pay the liabilities as and when they fall due. So it might be balance sheet solvent, i.e. you've got more assets than liabilities, but at the end of the day, if you can't pay your creditors when they fall due, you are insolvent. And those creditors can take action against your company. So make sure you are chasing people who owe you money. And at the end of the day, as you may know, is when you owe someone money, they chase you as well. So make sure you are getting in those assets so that you are solvent and you can pay people. Just because they are late payers, you don't want it to affect your company. Okay, so those are just a few of the tips. There's more in the related article, but I just wanted to share what I do and also what I've seen with other companies. Okay, thank you very much.